Hey guys, it's Monday, January 25th, 2021. Alright, so we're back, free app Mondays. So, just a reminder, content release schedule has changed. I think this is the last time I'm going to say this. End of the month. That's it. Going into February, I'm done saying it. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're doing free apps, free plugins, free DAWs, free applications for music production. So let's just jump right into it. The free app for this Monday is from, I don't even know the name of the developer, but the tool, it's called Orchestools, and they have a bunch of different products under that name. So they have Orchestools. The one we're going to be focusing on today is the Orchestools 306. Now, this is the one that I had mentioned from last week that I was like, I've never heard of this thing before. I've never seen anybody talking about it online. There are videos about it online, but I've never seen them. But yeah, let's take a quick look at it. So where is it? It's over here. So the interface, let's first go to the settings. Down here we have the settings. You got to hit this button. I'm going to make the interface bigger. Let's do like 150%. That's better. And then you got to hit this button again to get it to go away. It took me a while to figure that out. Most newer UIs, you just click off in another spot and it goes away, but not this one. So this UI, when you first look at it, it is kind of daunting. The layout can look confusing, but you just got to focus in on every section and then it'll all make sense. So in here, this is dealing with like detune and unison, basically to kind of spread and separate the tone and the pitch, kind of like chorusing or the unison effect, things like that. And they have a filter section, they have an effect section, they have I think they have pitch modulation sections. Of course, they have compression. They have your typical what is that? Your volume ADSR, and there's a bunch of other ADSRs. There's a bunch of LFOs. The interface can be very daunting just because of the way the layout, and this is kind of how most of their products look. I'll talk about some of their other products later on, but today we're just focusing on the OT306 or the Orchestools 306. So the main thing is just go down here near the settings button. You'll see library. You click this button right here and it will open the factory library sounds. Make sure you download that separately. Let me jump to that real quick. So when you come here, the link is in the description, of course. Everything I talk about today, the link is in the description. So when you come here to this page and you scroll down to Orchestools 306, at the bottom, it has the link here for you to download the plugin, but it also has a link for you to download the samples. So you have to download the samplers because these are romplers, like it says right here. And if you don't know what a rompler is, I'll probably explain it later on in a video this week. But it's a rompler. Look it up. Or wait for my explainer. But so samples are needed. And you have to install them. Know where you put them. Because when you first open this interface for the first time, it's going to ask you for that file. And it's going to, you point it to the file, then it's going to ask you where do you want to extract these samples. and you tell it where you want to do that, and it will extract all the samples. And once it's done, then you'll have this library of presets, which is feeding off of the samples. Some of the samples are just clean, the sample library, and everything loads up. And some of them are straight like synth modulation. Some of them is a combination of the samples being modulated by these parameters to give you like some weird unnatural sounds, not any sounds you would find on a real instrument. So that's kind of what a Rompler does. So let's check out some of these sounds. What do we got here? Let's look at string performance. Let me mute my mic for a second. Let's do that. All right, so it's pretty decent sounds. They have a good amount of sounds here. I'm not gonna go through all of them, but they have the orchestra section, instruments, and hybrid. They got pads. The pads are pretty cool. They have some interesting rhythmic stuff. The synth and the sound effects and ambient stuff is actually very interesting. Also. They have some nice atmospheric ambient stuff that you can use for certain things, trailer style things also, or just to keep to bring like some kind of moodiness to a track, or to some sound design for like video, some kind of visual. So they have all that. They have some decent synth stuff. This tools menu, I don't know what this is. When I click on it and hit my controller, I don't get any sound. So if I feel like it, I'll read to see what that is in the manual, but I don't have time for that. But definitely check this one out. I have never heard of it before. After I go through the next two plugins, I'll go through the story of how I stumbled upon this. But I don't want to bore you if you're not interested, so let me just continue with the plugins. So check that one out. The next one I have here is a fairly new release. It's called 3X Deluxe, and pretty much it's a 3 oscillator synth. The interface looks, very outdated and not fancy, but it actually has decent sounds in it. And it has the library is not that crazy as far as the amount of presets, but it has decent sounds. Definitely, it does have some good starter sounds, primary sounds, but it definitely has good secondary and tertiary sounds for you to add to your composition. Yeah, it's pretty cool sounds. They have some thicker leads in here. Pluck. It's not bad. Not bad at all. What is this? That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's 3X Deluxe. Check that one out. Not bad. And then last but not least, we have Epic Verb. It's like a combination of a delay and a reverb, and it has pretty decent reverb. This plugin is actually pretty old. It's from a developer that I've talked about before, Variety of Sound. They are the ones that had that EQ I did last week, the Boot EQ. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. If you need like a room verb, some nice vocal verbs, very subtle, and it can do like bigger over the top reverbs, but has a decent range of what it can do. But it's good to add to your arsenal as far as reverbs are concerned when you need to build that virtual space and for your sound design needs. So that's pretty much it, guys. So the quick story how I ran into this plugin, I think I started telling the story last week, but this is the full story. So I was working on a beat, and I needed some sounds to finish up, and I knew exactly what type of sounds I wanted. It was high-pitched belly sounds like a vibraphone or xylophone or like a glockenspiel. Something within that range I know I needed to hear in the composition. The composition had a lot of it was like a hip-hop track, kind of trappy, but it was still a lot of heavy orchestration in it. So I heard those sounds in my head playing a specific melody. And this was just the last part of the beat. It was just a little icing on the top of the cake that I needed for the beat. So I pulled up this plugin that I usually use, and because it has those sounds, it's mainly focused on orchestration. It's I think it's like the VCO library. Yeah, the VSCO2 library from Vercillion Studios. So the problem I had was, for some reason, whenever I use their native player, the Vercillion native player, I notice every time I do 2 instances, my project always crashes. So I'll do one, it'll be fine, I'll pick a sound out, and then I'll go for a second one to load up another sound. And as soon as I load it, my program will crash. And then it can't open. Every time I try to open it, it tries to open and it crashes. The good thing about Reaper is Reaper has a feature where when you go to load a project, you can actually check, I think it's called like safe mode. And basically loading the project in safe mode, it loads your project with every plugin in the project offline. So you get to load the project, and most likely, you know, a plugin is what's causing it to crash. So you'll get your project to load, and then you can troubleshoot to see which plugin, or if you know which plugin it is that is causing it to crash, then you can easily just go to that plugin, remove it, and then you can actually just save it and then reopen it regularly, or you can just stay in the project and keep re-enabling the bypass plugin, because the plugins are going to be totally offline when you start it in safe mode. So I had that issue, and I was just trying to figure out, well, I really need that sound, and I knew the sound that I wanted was in that library. So I went back to Vercillion Studios, went to their website, and found out that a lot of people were having the same problems in different DAWs. I thought it was maybe my DAW or something, but in different DAWs, it's been acting a little funky. So they suggested there's different ways that you can load that Vercillion Studio orchestra library. You can load it in font players, file font players, sound font players. There we go. You can load it in sound font players. You can load it in Contact. You can also load it in, what is that thing called? Give me a second, I'll tell you right now. You can also load it in Sample Tank. Sample Tank 3 as of right now. I think they're working on one. The Sample Tank 4 version. But, and then they also have this other option, which is to load it in this Rompler from Orchestools. And I was like, what is Orchestools? I've never heard of them before. So I went to test out that solution, and then I was just opened up to this whole world of all the Romplers that they have. So they have a piano Rompler, they have a synth Rompler. I'll go through that stuff throughout the week. So that's pretty much it, guys. Check out those plugins. The link are in the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, you'll see me in the next video.